Dear women and females who have been watching Hollywood for the last 10 years, I am truly sorry that you guys had to go through what you've been through, because watching K-Pop Demon Hunters is the pinnacle of how female girl power should literally be. If you are like many others, like when it comes to like Hollywood and movies, like aren't you all just sick and tired of just the constant slop that they kind of trying to push on female roles to make them seem like they're always stoic, always have this sort of aura around them? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, because when we see girl bosses, when we see these sort of female roles shine in their roles, it looks great. But when you see it in a Marvel film, it looks ridiculous. Like let's be honest, like when you're seeing, for example, like Black Widow, and she's all been beaten up and everything, she still has this sort of stoic look about her, like, yeah, I'm good. But it's like, no, like, you can still be charismatic. And I think that's one thing why I really love K-Pop Demon Hunters. When I watched that movie, just straight out the gate, like the first, like 3 minutes before they break into a song, you already see like an organic raw side of like how girls would want to be, like, you know, eating snacks, talking with their friends, preparing for a show. Like it just seems so organic and natural. And I'm obviously I'm a guy, right? So it's like maybe some people might feel they might disagree on like what I'm saying right now, but when I saw how that movie portrayed how women should be, or how women are like when they're around their friends, it just felt more relaxing. And that's the thing nowadays when it comes to like Hollywood, because when they start to like portray these roles, they want to always portray these roles to show them that they are the best, and obviously they can do what guys can do, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them can. But when it does that sort of stuff, they like to kind of belittle guys in the same time. So it's like, okay, so they make them stoic and they make them have this aura about them and strong, but it's kind of like the detriment of like sort of these Marvel male figures and stuff. They kind of want to make them look like goofy, like stupid, and you can clearly see it. Like you could always see it. So when you see like a film like K-Pop Demon Hunters, they didn't do that at all, because when you see the Saja boys, you saw how they were, right? They were just as talented, just as good, and if anything, just as catchy with their songs. Like I was jamming to their songs every minute, and they didn't slander women in that. Like they both had the apex of like, okay, authority in that world, and it was based off merit, like who was going to be the best. And as you can see, like the Huntrix won. There's a saying that they always say that if it seems gimmicky, if it seems cringe, that they're trying to pander to another audience. And I didn't feel that at all with K-Pop Demon Hunters. Like, just to give you a quick premise, obviously people haven't seen it. Obviously there's a world where, you know, there's a lot of demons, and then there's these like beings where they kind of suppress these demons by singing. And obviously there's these 3 girls who are kind of handpicked, and then you got Rumi, which is basically the one who obviously is half demon. And throughout the show, she's kind of has like this sort of internal conflict, because she's got this secret where she doesn't tell her friends. Her carer says like to suppress it, you know, it'll be fine. Once you do the song Golden, it'll be all okay. But at the same time, it eats her up inside. It makes her lose her voice, and then she slowly kind of starts to resent herself, and also her friends start to get affected by it. And it kind of shows that, kind of at the end of the story, it kind of shows like supporting one another is kind of the true power of this sort of show. And they did it perfectly. I feel like they executed it wonderfully. When it came to the actual speaking of the role, when it came to the characters, when it came to like the dynamic, it just felt organic. It felt natural. It didn't feel pushed. It didn't feel like these sort of Marvel films where they just have to like kind of prove something. Like, yeah, they're still trying to win and also do something for their, you know, for their town and everything, but it didn't come at the expense of just trying to prove something like, oh yeah, girls have to do it like this, or this is how it should be. It was just inside with them. Like you can tell that their aura, the way that they conveyed themselves, like they were strong, and they didn't have to push that to say, oh yeah, you know, I can do this, or I have to prove it like this. Like you can just tell with the story writing, they really kind of showcase that this is how story writing should be. What do you guys think anyway though? Because this is just a small take which I just wanted to talk about, just because, you know, in terms of this sort of world, I work in marketing, I'm a graphic designer, so me kind of seeing how they portray this sort of through animation, I feel like this easily can be translated through movies. Just because it was Sony Animation who did this, it doesn't mean that Marvel couldn't do something like this. So what are you guys' thoughts anyway? You know, slap it in the comments. I know this is probably gonna be an interesting thing to talk about in the comments. Are you guys obsessed with the songs? I still love the songs. I'm banging to Golden to this day. But yeah, take care guys. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.